Welcome to the Deep Dives, where we streamline your knowledge by carrying through your source material and just extracting the insights that actually matter. You've handed us a great challenge this time, a head-to-head between two really compelling Canon mirrorless cameras, the R7 and the R8. And these two, they hit the market less than a year apart, but they feel like they're aimed at two completely different photographers. Our mission today is to cut through all that noise, look past the price tag, and figure out which one of these bodies really aligns with what you need. Are you going for, the ultimate image quality or for professional capability?
It's the ultimate architectural conflict, really. When you boil it all down, the R8 from 2023 is what we're calling the full-frame minimalist. Canon just put all their chips on sensor size and affordability. The R7, which is just 9 months older, is the resolution specialist. It's built with this robustness and features that target demanding, really technical shooters. And the funny thing is, their overall scores are basically identical. We're talking 72 versus 73, but how they get there couldn't be more different.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's start with the core philosophy of the sensor, size versus reach. Everyone is talking about the R8 because it's a full-frame sensor at, an enthusiast price point. That's a 24-megapixel sensor, 36 by 24 millimeters.
And the essential thing to get here isn't just the megapixel count. It's the physical size of the things that collect the light, the photosites. The R8's individual photosites are just massive, 36 square micrometers. If you compare that to the R7, the R8's light gathering area is... well, it's a staggering 253% larger.
253.
Yeah.
That's a huge margin. So what's the real-world benefit? What does that actually get me when I'm out shooting?
It translates directly to light tolerance and dynamic range. These huge photosites, they just gather so much more light with less noise. It means cleaner images when the light drops. We're talking way better performance at high ISO. The native range goes up to 102,400. Yeah, and you can expand it to over 200,000. So if you're shooting a dimly lit wedding reception or maybe an indoor basketball game, the R8's full-frame sensor gives you a low-light cleanliness that the R7, well, it just can't match.
But then the R7 completely flips that idea on its head.
Yeah.
It uses a smaller, denser APS-C sensor, but it packs in 33 megapixels. That's 37% more pixels in a smaller space.
And this is where the R7's 1.6x crop factor becomes a massive intentional feature. It's not a bug.
Right.
For photographers who are all about reach, so think wildlife, birding, trackside sports, that crop factor is just free telephoto extension. You mount your 400 millimeter lens.
And you're instantly shooting at what, like 160, 640 millimeters?
Exactly, instantly. That is a huge cost saver for anyone shooting telephoto. You're getting reach that full-frame users have to spend thousands of dollars more on lenses to get, not to mention the weight.
And the resolution backs that up, I assume.
It does. That 33-megapixel resolution gives you immense cropping latitude. So if you're tracking a bird in flight and your framing isn't quite perfect, you have all those pixels to crop in aggressively in post-production without sacrificing print quality. It's purpose-built for detail at a distance.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk about the operational divide, because this is where it's not just about image quality anymore, it's about workflow, reliability. And we have to start with the stabilization controversy. The R7 has 7-stop in-body image stabilization IBIS. The R8, the newer camera, has 0. None.
The R7's IBIS is transformative. It just is. It changes the mathematical reality of shooting handheld. Right. So say you're using a non-stabilized 200 millimeter lens. The old rule says you need a shutter speed of at least, 1/1200th of a second to avoid camera shake.
Right. The reciprocal rule. So with the R7 7 stops of IBIS, what does that let me do?
You could theoretically shoot that same 200 millimeter lens at half a second and still get sharpness comparable to what you'd get at 1200.
Half a second handheld. That's wild.
It's huge. It lets landscape photographers shoot at base ISO without a tripod. And for wildlife, it just makes handheld telephoto work so much sharper, so much more consistent.
But the R8 has to rely only on lens stabilization, or you just have to crank up the shutter speed. And if you have to use faster shutter speeds, you're pushing the ISO higher.
You are, and that's the connection point. The R8's dependence on lens IS or faster shutter speeds, that all eats up battery. You might save money on the body, but you're kind of pushed into buying more expensive stabilized lenses.
Which brings us directly to power management. The difference in the official ratings is, frankly, astounding. What are the numbers we're looking at?
Okay, so the R7 has an official CIPA rating of 660 shots on one charge. That is genuine all-day reliability. You can go out shooting wildlife and probably not even think about swapping batteries.
But the R8, its rating is 290 shots. Wait, 290. Is inadequate even the right word for that? Or am I being unfair, applying professional standards?
For a Sunday walk, maybe it's fine. But if you're talking about any serious job, a full wedding day, an all-day event, 290 shots is candidly inadequate. It means the R8 becomes this constant exercise in power management. You're budgeting for 4 or 5 extra batteries, minimum, and you're always checking that little indicator. You're just more likely to miss a key moment. That's a serious operational risk.
And that risk goes beyond just running out of power. Especially when you're shooting those once-in-a-lifetime moments, it moves right into data security.
Absolutely. And this is another place where the R7 is just built for reliability. It has dual UHS-2 SD card slots. You can write to both cards at the same time, giving you instant backup.
Redundancy.
Card failure is rare, but for a pro, it's catastrophic. You can't lose a wedding ceremony. The dual slots protect you from that.
And the R8, on the other hand, has a single card slot. It's a pretty clear signal from Canon about who this camera is for.
It is. You're accepting that single point of failure in exchange for that cheaper full-frame entry point. For a casual shooter, fine. But for anyone getting paid for their work, the sources really stress that the R8's operational risks battery and the single card slot are significant red flags.
All right, moving into performance. Both bodies have that fantastic dual-pixel CMOS AF2 system, but they use it differently. The R8 seems to be the speed demon, at least in burst rate.
That's right. The R8 uses its electronic shutter to hit an incredible 40 frames per second. Plus, that full-frame sensor gives it superior low-light AF tracking. It's phenomenal for catching the fastest moments when the light is low.
But the R7 is more about mechanical excellence. It has a faster mechanical shutter, 18,000th of a second, compared to the R8's 14,000th, and it has a much faster mechanical burst rate, 15 frames per second versus the R8's 6. So why does that faster mechanical shutter matter so much?
It matters because of something called rolling shutter. When you're shooting outdoors in really bright light, like on a beach or in the snow or with fast motion, the electronic shutter can cause this jello effect.
Ah, right, where vertical lines get all bent and skewed.
Exactly. So if you're photographing a golfer swinging on a sunny day, the R7's faster mechanical shutter will make sure that golf club isn't bent like a noodle. It just gives you cleaner action shots in those bright, fast-moving situations.
And what about video? They both do 4K, unlimited recording. Where do they split?
The R8 really appeals to the pro production world. It has features like lens breathing correction, which is a big deal, and it has faster slow motion, 180 frames per second.
But if you're a run-and-gun solo creator, the R7's whole package seems way more practical.
Without a doubt, that 7-stop IBIS just transforms handheld video. You can often leave the gimbal at home. Combine that with the dual card slots for security and that monster battery life. The R7 is the more practical tool for creators out in the field by themselves.
Okay, let's synthesize this. Let's do a quick matchup based on the 4 core scenarios from the sources. First up, wildlife and nature.
Oh, that's an easy one. Clear advantage, R7. No contest.
Because of the reach.
The 1.6x crop for free reach, the IBIS for sharp handheld telephoto shots, and the battery life for all-day field sessions. It's purpose-built for it.
Okay. Scenario 2, travel photography, where weight is key.
Advantage R8. It's about 150 grams lighter, a bit more compact, great for packing light, but, and it's a big but, you have to remember the battery issue. If you're going somewhere remote, you're carrying 4 or 5 extra batteries, which totally negates that weight advantage.
Right. Scenario 3, street photography.
The sources gave the R7 a 90% rating here versus the R8's 74%. The R7 wins because of IBIS. You can shoot sharp, handheld shots at slower shutter speeds, keep your ISO low, and that all-day battery means you won't miss a fleeting moment.
And the final one, the big one, weddings and events.
This is a tough one. The R8's full-frame sensor wins on pure low-light image quality. You'll get cleaner files in a dark church. However,
the operational risks.
The massive professional risk, the single card slot, and the terrible battery life. You might get a slightly cleaner image, but you risk losing everything, and that's unforgivable. The R7's reliability makes it the safer, more dependable professional tool.
Which brings us to the final factor, the investment philosophy.
Yeah.
The body price is just the entry fee, isn't it?
It really is. An R8 buyer is committing to the full-frame RF lens ecosystem, and that means you're investing in bigger, heavier, and much more expensive lenses to really take advantage of that sensor.
Whereas the R7 path is a bit different. You can use all the RF glass, but you also get access to those lighter, more affordable APS-C lenses, and every single lens gets stabilized by the body.
And that changes the whole long-term view. The R8 is often called a gateway camera. The danger is that its limitations, the battery, the single slot, will frustrate you pretty quickly and force you to upgrade to a much more expensive full-frame body sooner than you planned.
That's an expensive stepping stone.
Exactly. Whereas the R7 is more of a destination camera. It has a complete professional feature set. You're much less likely to outgrow it. Even if you buy a full-frame camera later, the R7 is still an incredibly valuable second body for telephoto work.
So even though the R8 is cheaper up front, around $1,100 versus the R7's $1,500, you're arguing the R7's price is justified.
Absolutely. You're paying for features that are built right in. The R7 includes IBIS, dual card slots, and a better battery. To even partially replicate that on the R8 system, you'd spend hundreds on extra batteries and premium lenses. You're buying a complete system with the R7.
So the final score, 73 for the R7 and 72 for the R8, really confirm it. They're equal performers, just optimized for totally different goals.
You got it. The R8 prioritized the sensor quality above all else. The R7 prioritized complete operational capability. You just have to look at your own shooting reality.
So if full-frame quality is everything, and you can live with the risks, get the R8. But if reliability, stabilization, and reach give you peace of mind, the R7 is the clear choice. All right, here's the final thought for you to mull over.
Okay, if you choose the R8 today to save money and get that full-frame sensor, I want you to think about the future lens cost. To get the same effective reach and sharp handheld performance that the R7 gives you natively, thanks to its crop factor and its IBS, how much will you really have to spend on those big, premium, stabilized telephoto lenses for the R8? Are you actually saving money now, or are you just, deferring a much bigger and heavier cost down the road?